Alright guys, in this video I'm going to be breaking down the trips tight end formation out of shotgun. And this formation is pretty much my complement to the tight offset formation, where the running plays are designed to go pretty much up the middle, or off tackle pretty much. Now the thing that sets this formation up so well, pretty much the audibles that we use. Now you can mix these up however you want. My audibles that I use are going to be the wide receiver screen, which I'll break down here in just a second, the halfback slip screen, and then also the quick base and the counter. There are good passing plays like PA boot over, PA slot corner, halfback angle is a good one. There's significant plays that you could actually use, verticals, curl flats, so forth. But I like to use this as pretty much an extension of my running game. So when I say that, the play that sets this whole running scheme up is the halfback counter. And the reason it does that is because if your opponent doesn't base align, you tend to be able to just break this to the outside and pick up huge gains. So it pretty much forces your opponent to play without the favorite in numbers. So by base aligning, he now has less people on the left-hand side of the field, whereas opposed if he doesn't base align, he then is weak on the right-hand side. So the perfect complement on outside running plays is the quick base, which is designed to go outside left, or the halfback counter, which is obviously designed to go outside right. Now, on top of that, I like to use this formation more so as short passing. You could use the plays that I mentioned above, the PA boot over, the PA slot, I forget, slot corner or something like that. But the plays I personally use are wide receiver screen and slip screen. Now they seem like pretty weak audibles. Like they don't seem like a good passing scheme, but it's not bad. It's actually really good when you can pretty much go to this formation and force your opponent to have to respect two dominant runs as well as a screen to the left and a screen to the right. Now the wide receiver screen that I'm going to break down here next, I'm going to show you how I like to run this. And this is pretty much a screen to both sides, which is one setup, or a screen to the left with them having to respect the middle of the field. So this will work against any zone. So we'll come out in, free fire 3. And the play wide receiver screen, as I mentioned, it forces your opponent to pretty much play on the numbers. So at this point, I now have the favorite number-wise on the left-hand side of the field. So I would just hike the ball, throw a screen, pick up my 5-6 yards with potential for a huge gain. If your opponent stays in that, you can pretty much hit them with that all game long. A cover 2 will not stop this. They're pretty much going to have to take their linebacker safety and up that outside left receiver. But that's when the slip screen then comes into play, because now if they're focusing on that guy, now we're throwing a screen back across the field to the right to either the running back or the drag. Simple concept. It's been in Madden for years. It really took off this year. And that's just the dragging of the receiver, creating pretty much a double screen. So not only that, though, slip screen, very quick, very simple, easy to run. Wide receiver screen, my setup that I actually use is I flat route the tight end. And this pretty much gives me another screen to the right-hand side of the field. So not only do they have to respect the left, they have to respect the right at all times. Making these adjustments that you have to do to stop the screen game really limits what you can do in terms of stopping the run. So to me, this is a fantastic complement to the other formations that we use. And this is pretty much my run-heavy scheme, where I just want to pound the rock against the opponent. And I will use this formation, and I really make my opponent have to think to stop this. So once again, the setups. Wide receiver screen. You simply flat route the tight end. Throw the ball to the running back. Pick up huge yards there. Or you have the guy to the receiver if you have the numbers advantage on that side. So once again, just hike, wait a second, bullet pass, and try to pick up the huge gain to that side of the field. So you're attacking the sidelines. Quick, simple, easy passes, and your opponent really is going to struggle to guard this. Then once you start mixing in the slip screen, now you're pretty much taking one of their main adjustments they have to make and have to focus on completely out of the play. So now you're throwing it back to the other side of the field, and you have the screen advantage on that side. So not super sexy plays, but once you start running them and once you start hitting them with all the other quick passes we have and simple, quick little dots, it is the perfect complement to the run game that we are trying to build. So that is my trips tight end scheme. I am going to show you the setup that I like to use for the only other passing play I sometimes run, and that is going to be the play PA slot corner. I will typically run this play when I am seeing a lot of man coverage. That is going to be your opponent's best way of stopping the screen game while also containing the run. So if I'm seeing my opponent going to man coverage a lot when I'm audibling two trips tight end, sometimes I will come out in this play, the PA slot corner. And you'll see that this play just kills man coverage on pretty much all levels. Your setups, my personal favorite setup is to simply fade the outside left receiver. And at that point, you just hit either corner route, crossing route, whatever you want to hit. If they are in any sort of zone, as long as you cancel the play action, you should still be able to hit the corner route on the left or the post coming across the middle. If your opponent starts catching on and starts hitting you with random things like zone, man combos, you can also simply put that outside left guy on a smoke screen, and that's always going to give you an additional bailout route. I just threw a bad pass right there. But as you'll see here, do it again. The post route will beat man coverage, man press, man doesn't matter, as well as the corner route that is on the left-hand side. So as you see here, corner route, roast this guy. Pretty impossible to stop using man coverage. And then obviously smoke screen's not going to be able to stop zone. And then you got the screen and run game to go along with it. So fantastic formation. It's a shame I don't have more audibles. Otherwise, I would have the PA slot corner as an audible. However, I feel like the other plays that we have out of the other sets, drive out, halfback wheel, PA Panther post, they all dominate man to the point where I can focus my trips tight end scheme on a short passing and running game plan, which so far has worked tremendously. And a lot of people you will see running some sort of scheme like this. A lot of people don't run the wide receiver screen, but that is actually a mistake because it is absolutely dominant versus any defense that is not base aligned. If your opponent is catching on to that, simply slant the tight end if man coverage, and then you pretty much can throw the man guy, throw to the slant across the middle, or you can still throw the wide receiver screen. That wide receiver screen at a trips tight end, for whatever reason, pretty much beats everything. I don't know why, but literally you just hike, throw, and that's the worst case scenario. I've only gotten it picked, I think, once since I've been running this scheme for about a month now. and you'll pick up a lot of huge plays, especially if they don't have safety help up top. So that is the trips tight end scheme. Next scheme we're going to break down is going to be the normal Y flex